Japanese women live to an average of 88.1 years, and most of them look at least a decade younger than that number suggests. Japan has more centenarians per capita than any other country on Earth, and 88% of those centenarians are women. Not a coincidence. Not just good genes. They have built a completely different relationship with their bodies, their skin, and how they move through daily life, and most of it costs almost nothing. Here's what nobody tells you when you're standing in the skincare aisle, overwhelmed by $80 serums and a 10-step routine you already know you won't follow. The women with the most consistently beautiful skin in the world are not doing more than you. They are actually doing less, but doing it right and backing it up with lifestyle habits your favorite beauty influencer has never once mentioned. 10 secrets. Some are products, some are rituals, and some have nothing to do with skincare at all. That last category is the one that moves the needle most. Let's start at the beginning. The cleanser. Double cleansing has roots going back to 14th century East Asian beauty culture, and Japanese women have been doing a version of it for centuries before it became a trending topic on TikTok. The method is simple. Cleanse twice, first with an oil-based cleanser, then with a water-based foam or gel, but the reason it works is worth understanding, because once you get it, you'll never go back to a single-step cleanse again. Oil dissolves oil. Sunscreen, makeup, sebum, pollution, it all sits on your skin in a lipid layer, and water-based cleansers genuinely struggle to cut through it. An oil cleanser pulls all of that off without stripping your moisture barrier, which is the part most cleansers destroy without you realizing it. Then the foam clears away anything water-soluble. Sweat, residue, the cleansing oil itself. 70% of participants in clinical trials on double cleansing reported measurably improved skin hydration within weeks. Not from adding a moisturizer, from switching the cleanser. The botanical cleansing oil market is currently worth $1.83 billion and projected to hit $3.70 billion by 2030. The Western beauty industry is slowly catching on to something Japan figured out hundreds of years ago. Now here's where it gets interesting. The oil Japanese women have relied on longer than almost any other is camellia oil. Geishas used it. They used it on their faces to remove the heavy white makeup they wore, and they worked it through their hair to keep it smooth and glossy under elaborate styles. Camellia oil is rich in oleic acid, which mimics your skin's natural sebum so closely that it absorbs without any greasy residue. It also carries vitamins A, B, D, and E plus antioxidants in a single bottle. You can find a high-quality camellia oil for under $20. A bottle lasts months. Use it as the first step in your double cleanse, as an overnight facial oil on dry skin, or work a few drops through the ends of your hair after washing. One ingredient, 3 uses, centuries of proof. That is the Japanese approach in a nutshell. The next one surprises people. Rice water. Rice water is the starchy liquid left over after you rinse or soak raw rice, and Japanese women have been using it as a facial rinse and toner for generations. The women of Huangluo village in China, famous for hair that grows past their feet, have used fermented rice water for centuries. In Japan, court ladies in the Heian period documented rinsing their skin with it. What makes it work comes down to what's actually in it. Amino acids, B vitamins, vitamin E, minerals, and inositol, a carbohydrate that speeds up cell turnover and helps repair sun damage over time. It brightens. It hydrates. It tightens pores temporarily after application. You can make it at home in 10 minutes for free, or find bottled versions from brands like Hada Labo that fold rice extracts into a proper toner format. Hada Labo, by the way, is Japan's best-selling skincare brand. It sells at the drugstore for the same price as a Neutrogena, same results as a $200 luxury brand. Completely accessible. Now I want to talk about something most Western beauty content never touches, and it genuinely ranks among the most important factors on this entire list. The Japanese diet. Skin is not separate from your body. It is your body. What Japanese women eat daily looks radically different from the average American diet in ways that show up directly on the face. The traditional Japanese diet is high in fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, loaded with omega-3 fatty acids that cut systemic inflammation and keep the skin barrier strong and supple. High in fermented foods like miso, which feed the gut microbiome and reduce the kind of chronic low-grade inflammation that surfaces as redness, breakouts, and accelerated aging. High in soy, isoflavones found in soy have been shown in multiple studies to support collagen production and skin elasticity, particularly in women, and dramatically low in refined sugar and red meat. Both drive glycation, a process where sugar molecules bind to collagen fibers and break them down, causing the skin to lose firmness faster than almost anything else. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet. Adding 2 servings of fatty fish a week, swapping 1 meal a day for something fermented or soy-based, and genuinely cutting your added sugar, those 3 moves alone will do more for your skin over the next 6 months than most serums you could buy. And while we're on the inside-out angle, let's talk about how Japanese women actually hydrate their skin, because it's not what most of us are doing. The concept is called mochi skin. Mochi is a soft, bouncy Japanese rice cake, and mochi skin means skin with that same quality. Plump, dewy, resilient, with a kind of inner glow. You don't get there by slapping on one thick moisturizer and calling it done. You get there by layering. Multiple thin layers of lightweight hydrating products applied one at a time, each one allowed to absorb before the next goes on. 3 layers of a lightweight toner with hyaluronic acid, then a thin essence, then a water gel moisturizer. Each layer adds hydration incrementally, and the result holds far better throughout the day than one thick cream sitting on top of the skin without penetrating. Sounds like more steps. Each layer takes about 15 seconds. The whole thing runs under 3 minutes. Your skin will feel different by day 3. Here's something that sounds basic, but the data behind it is genuinely striking. Japan has among the highest rates of daily SPF use in the world, not just in summer, not just on sunny days. Year-round, rain or shine, indoor or outdoor. Japanese women treat SPF as the single most non-negotiable step in any skincare routine, and dermatologists agree with them. UV radiation is the #1 external cause of premature aging, hyperpigmentation, loss of elasticity, and skin cancer. A clean double cleanse and a bottle of camellia oil mean nothing if you are skipping SPF on a cloudy Tuesday in October. UV rays, the aging rays, cut through clouds and glass. They're hitting your face through the car window right now. Japan absorbed this knowledge culturally decades before the rest of us did. A $12 bottle of SPF 30 or 50 mineral sunscreen applied every single morning is the highest return skincare investment available to you. Full stop. Now let's talk about the philosophy behind the routine itself, because this is what actually separates Japanese skincare from the Western approach at a fundamental level. The 3-step simplicity principle, Japanese skincare philosophy at its core says less is more, not as a minimalist aesthetic choice, but as a practical one. Instead of stacking 10 active ingredients on top of each other and hoping for the best, the Japanese approach asks, what does my skin actually need right now, and what is the most direct way to give it that? The typical routine is cleanse, hydrate, protect. 3 steps. Done. Each product is chosen with precision, and the focus stays on supporting the skin barrier rather than attacking it with actives. When your barrier is healthy, your skin regulates moisture, fights off environmental damage, and stays calm on its own. Strip it with over-exfoliation, too many actives, harsh cleansers, and everything falls apart. You end up chasing problems you created. More products do not equal better skin. A protected, hydrated barrier does. The next secret is one of the most underrated in Western skincare right now. Fermented ingredients. Sake, koji, miso, not just food. When applied topically, fermented ingredients deliver smaller, more bioavailable molecules that penetrate the skin more effectively than their unfermented counterparts. Sake, which is fermented rice wine, is rich in kojic acid, amino acids, and B vitamins, and it has been used as a skin brightener in Japan for centuries. Sake brewery workers were famously observed to have remarkably soft, youthful hands despite hard physical labor. Koji, the mold used to ferment rice and soybeans, produces enzymes that break down dead skin cells gently and even outtone without the irritation you get from synthetic exfoliants. Lacto-fermented extracts more broadly have been shown to strengthen the skin barrier and reduce inflammatory response. Western brands are just catching on to this. Products with fermented ingredients are showing up in high-end lines at $150 a bottle. Japanese drugstore brands have been putting them in $8 toners for decades. Now here's the one nobody on YouTube is talking about. It might be the most important secret on this entire list. Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that roughly translates to reason for being, your sense of purpose, the thing that makes you want to get up in the morning. Before you think this went off topic, stay with me for a second. Chronic psychological stress is one of the most documented drivers of accelerated skin aging. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, breaks down collagen, blocks the skin's ability to repair itself overnight, ramps up inflammatory responses that worsen acne and redness, and wrecks your sleep cycle. Having a genuine sense of purpose and direction in your daily life is associated with measurably lower cortisol levels, longer telomere length, and reduced inflammatory markers in the blood. not soft metrics. Those are the exact biological mechanisms that show up on your face over time. Japanese culture also places enormous value on community, connection, and slowing down. Meals are not rushed, evenings are quieter, sleep comes earlier. Getting 8 hours of sleep before midnight is not a luxury in Japan. It's a given, and your skin repairs itself almost entirely while you sleep. Every hour you cut short is an hour of cellular repair that never happens. The final secret is the simplest one, and probably the hardest for most Americans to actually adopt. Walking. Daily. Low-impact walking is a non-negotiable part of the day. Not exercise in the go hard or go home sense. Just movement woven into how you live. The average Japanese person logs significantly more steps per day than the average American, not because they're training for anything, but because it is built into the structure of daily life. Walk to the train, walk from the train, walk to the market. What that consistent daily movement does at a systemic level is remarkable. It reduces chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body, the same inflammation that drives skin aging, joint pain, fatigue, and metabolic issues. It improves circulation, sending more oxygen and nutrients to the skin. It regulates blood sugar, which directly cuts glycation. It lowers cortisol. 30 minutes of walking a day, outside, at a pace where you can still hold a conversation, that is one of the most powerful anti-aging interventions available to you right now. No gym membership, no equipment, just walking. When you pull all 10 of these together, what you're actually looking at is not a product list. It's a way of treating yourself, from the inside out, from the morning cleanse to the evening walk, to what you choose at dinner and when you decide to close your phone and sleep. Japanese women don't have a 10-step routine and a supplement stack and a $500 serum. They have a philosophy. And the proof is right there. The longest female life expectancy on the planet, and faces that genuinely do not match their ages. Which of these 10 secrets are you already doing, and which one have you been completely sleeping on? For most people, the honest answer to the second question is the lifestyle ones, the walking, the sleep, the ikigai, the diet, and those are the exact ones no product can replace. Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you're starting from. If this opened your eyes, share it with a friend who is buried in the 10-step routine spiral and wondering why it's not working. This might actually save her some money. If you're not subscribed yet, fix that now, because next week we're going into a full breakdown of Japanese hair care, the rituals, the ingredients, the reason Japanese women in their 50s have hair that looks better than most of us in our 20s, and exactly how you can start doing the same thing on your next wash day. You've been taking notes. Good. Now actually use them.